At the moment in NXT, I would probably say there are some people down there. I mean, down there like makes it sound very insulting when it's not. That probably are ready to come up to the main roster, and I kind of want to do a video on that and kind of pick 5 people, as you can see probably from the thumbnail, who I would probably bring up to the main roster at the minute, just because I feel like they either fit really well, or they've kind of done everything they need to do in NXT, or just in general I feel like just should be up anyway and probably shouldn't have been in NXT for much longer anyway. But I don't know. This is Wrestling Retrospective. I'm Leo, and let's talk about some NXT call-ups. So first off, I would have Lola Vice be called up to the main roster, and where to start with her? She has infinite aura. She fits the kind of heel or babyface dynamic really well. You know, we saw her start as a heel with Elektra Lopez, and then she seemingly transitioned brilliantly into a babyface character when she started feuding with Roxanne Perez over the NXT Championship. So for me, I just feel like she would give kind of a big breath of fresh air to the SmackDown Women's division. They kind of need it right now, especially with Bianca and Jade kind of concentrating more on the tag division. I feel like she would fit in quite well. She kind of has the, as I said, the kind of heel or face dynamic where like she'll get incredibly over like she's in NXT no matter what kind of dynamic she goes by. And yeah, I feel like though it's been like one very good year, I'd probably say maybe a year or just about a year she's had. But you know, she has the MMA background. She has the MMA background. I'd argue she put Shayna Baszler to the. She took Shayna Baszler to the limit back at Roadblock, I think it was. And yeah, I feel like from that point she's proven way more than often that she is main roster ready in such a short amount of time, and that she could fit in more or less wherever they put her. Whether it's good or bad guy. And yeah, I said it could bring some life to the SmackDown division that needs it very, very much. Cora Jade, I think, is a great pick, especially again for SmackDown. I feel like she's done more or less everything she can do in NXT. I know that she wasn't Women's Champion, but look at the likes of Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, never won the Women's Championship in NXT and has gone on to be one of the biggest faces of a brand there's been, especially in 2016-2017 for both Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch. But yeah, I feel like Cora Jade had, as I said, her time has come and gone in NXT. I know that she's plagued with injuries and stuff like that, but maybe new surroundings will bring better luck for her. And also, like, again, she can fit a babyface or a heel persona, though I would honestly say that a heel persona fits her a lot better. She has probably the backing of CM Punk as well, so that'll probably help her. And yeah, I just feel like, you know, she needs that new start. She needs a bigger spotlight on her. She's very good in the ring. You know, and she showed it like better on when it first became NXT 2.0, let alone now when, you know, many years later. And as I said, it just feels like she would fit quite well into SmackDown. And yeah, I just feel like, you know, if they have a return to NXT, what do they exactly have her do? Because especially with like the new signings of like Vaquer, Delta and Julia, she's going to get lost in the shuffle again down in NXT. So why not just bring her up to the main roster upon her return, have a feud with the likes of, you know, Naomi or Bailey and stuff like that. I feel like would give her a massive rub as a heel against the babyfaces, and you know, then she'd be off to the races with those. And I feel like she would probably prosper a lot better on the main roster now than she would going back down to NXT after she's recovered from this injury that she's had. For me, when it comes to Wesley, I feel like Raw need that kind of flippy guy to work like every week. They did have this guy like a few months ago. He kind of died or went to a dying company or something. Like, I don't know what happened to him. No, I'm joking. AEW's not a dying company. But if they were going to get someone to replace a Ricochet type and kind of have weekly banger matches, I feel like Wesley is number one to be that replacement. And, you know, not that they need to want, like, not to downplay him as just a replacement, but I feel like he, again, has done kind of everything that needs to be done in NXT. Like, I know he's not been NXT champion, but he had a great run with the North American Championship. He's been tag team champion as well. And I feel like this singles run has done wonders for him down in NXT. But now he kind of feels like he could be up at Raw or SmackDown and could be a very big mainstay of Raw and SmackDown as well for a long time in the future. I personally, again, would have him go to SmackDown. I feel like he would feud very well with the likes of Carmelo Hayes again. Andrade, LA Knight, Santos Escobar. I feel like he would have great matches with them, kind of prove himself as a call up, and then gain the trust of people like in a very short amount of time, and then maybe move on to Raw and do that kind of thing that Ricochet was doing, where he was having great matches, high pace matches, not just high pace as in just put him on speed. That would be the fucking worst thing you could do to him. But kind of like have that high flyer, the Jeff Hardy type, the Kofi Kingston type, the Ricochet type. And yeah, I feel like he would be a great person to have in that spot and kind of a mid-card division. I feel like he'd make a great Intercontinental Champion or a United States Champion. And yeah, I feel like, not that he can't get to the world title spot, but I feel like he would be trusted very quickly, similar to what they've done with Ilya Dragunov on Raw, where like very quickly they've put a lot of trust in him, and they've been putting great matches on. I feel like this would be a great position for Wesley on the opposite side on the SmackDown. Where do I begin with Overfemi? Like, he is arguably the best wrestler in NXT right now. I can't name a bad match he's had. I feel like, you know, he's riding a wave of momentum right now, and I feel like that takes him to the main roster. I know he's not been there for long, and he hasn't been probably wrestling for long. I think he was a footballer beforehand. But for me, he is arguably, as I said, one of the best things a part of NXT, and having him be on Raw, having feuds with the likes of Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed, but even people like Ilya Dragunov, or and especially, and a dream match I really want to see happen is him and Gunther go at it. I feel like there would just be matches that would be 5 stars all over the place. Like, already in a very short amount of time, you know, as I said, they'll probably not put a bad match on. His aura is infinite, like, you know, having the fan participation as part of his theme, the kind of jig he does on the way there. His promos are still really good as well. And then you've got the fact that he had a match that more or less stole WrestleMania weekend, like in a way that was like very surprising, as far as like, you know, it was the weekend where Cody won the championship. We had a Money in the Bank cash in, and yet a lot of people were talking about his match at Stand and Deliver. So for me, it is very biased because I think he's arguably the best thing in on NXT right now, but I would have him get on the main roster as soon as possible because he would fit right in, and they'd be dream match galore when it came to him and most people on the main roster. So with Roxanne Perez, I at the start of the year would have said that she probably wouldn't have fit to the main roster very well. I remember probably saying that on a few videos about NXT reviews. And the fact that the happy-go-lucky, smiling all the time babyface doesn't work on the main roster. We saw it with Bayley, where, you know, she had the hugger gimmick, and that didn't go very well for her. She not long afterwards had to change to the more heel Bayley, which we now know and love very well. And yeah, I feel like the kind of longevity of having a happy, smiley babyface doesn't really work in wrestling. Like, not that well anyway. You know, I'd argue that Willow Nightingale in AEW kind of works with it very well, but then she does have the edge when she gets to like street fights and stuff like we've just seen with All Out, where like it kind of works better. But yeah, for WWE, it really doesn't work that well. But then back in March, when we had NXT Roadblock and Roxanne Perez turned heel on Lyra Valkyria, since then it has been a stroke of genius to turn her heel, as she has become one of the best NXT champions in history for the women's division, I mean, and just has been having a kind of role of feuds and matches where they've been very unique in my opinion, because Roxanne Perez has elevated whoever her opponent is to her level and kept them there for a while, and then it's kind of been from them alone that they've either stayed at that level or not. You know, we saw the likes of Lola Vice go from kind of alright to very, very well in ring, and well, not in ring, kind of like as a character she got incredibly over during the Roxanne Perez feud, which has then carried her on past that, as well as, you know, a very good Shayna Baszler feud. The likes of Jada Parker, like, she came up to Roxanne's level and fared very well against her, and as well as many, many other opponents, and it's something that would help her massively when it comes to the main roster, is the fact that she can elevate people and help them along. Even if they are losing to Roxanne Perez, they still feel very, I say, very elevated by that feud. And yeah, I feel like now that she's been heel, I don't know whether I'd have her stay heel on the main roster. I probably would at first, and then maybe see what it's like as a different dynamic of a babyface. But, you know, in ring, she's fantastic. And I feel like either Raw or SmackDown, it would fit her really well. Obviously, SmackDown's an easy one to go for just because I feel like SmackDown's women's division is dead right now. But, you know, out of everyone on this list, I would say that Roxanne Perez deserves a call-up more than anyone else. You know, she took the title from Mandy Rose originally at a time where it was all very up in the air. She took the title and did really well with it, and again, she had a very unique match with Meiko Sakamura where she kind of passed out afterwards, but like it opened up like a more positive storyline, which was really good. So yeah, like everything Roxanne Perez seems to do seems to strike gold, and when they're doing that, and it's very consistent as well with her, you bring her up to the main roster and have her do it there as well. And as I said, I feel like out of everyone on this roster, she is the most deserving of a call-up, and I hope that she does soon and kind of gets that fitting well and doesn't just get lost in the shuffle like some people have. But yeah, I'm very much enjoying Roxanne Perez in NXT, and the fact that she's been trusted with Julia as well is very good as far as like her not only first championship match, but her first feud. It kind of shows that they trust her a lot. And yeah, I just feel like Roxanne Perez, as I said, is well overdue an NXT call-up. So they are my choices of who I don't have call-up at the minute. I know it's only 5, but I feel like that would probably be enough to call up without completely demolishing the NXT roster. But yeah, do put in the comments down below if you agree or disagree with someone being called up, whether someone I maybe haven't considered or haven't even thought about that should be going up to the main roster soon. And yeah, we can talk about it in the comments there. But if you enjoyed this video, please do leave it a like and give it a share and all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.